today I'm going to be doing a bit of work on the cruiser, and while I'm doing that, I will be sharing what I've been up to lately. Hey guys, welcome to another episode. Now today I'm going to be doing a bit of work on the cruiser, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to be chatting about a recent fishing trip that I went on. So if you're into fishing and adventures, keep watching. I will be sharing what I've been up to lately. You're just going to see a whole lot of grease in between me rambling on. The poor old cruiser needs a bit of love. Today I'm going to be doing the wheel bearings, and while I'm at it, I'm doing the CV joints and the shafts as well. I'm sure there'll be a few people interested in kind of seeing how I do things. The cruiser's making that clunking noise when I steer, and the inner axle seals are leaking, so it's pushing that grease out at the back, so they definitely need to be done before I get myself in a bit of trouble out bush. My very first ever video on YouTube was doing up the back of the cruiser. It looked very different than it does now. So now I'm going to be moving into the front half of it, which includes a paint job. All the bar work pulled off and resprayed properly. Headlights, tires. Now I must have picked the absolute hottest day to be outside doing this, but I do have a tarp that I'm going to set up because I'm going to be in the sun very shortly. Anyway, first things first, we're going to chuck the chock under. I'm going to jack him up and get stuck into it. It worked out perfectly. It's like 10 degrees cooler under here, so I'm just going to try and keep everything nice and organized as I go along, but usually me and organization don't go in the same sentence. Let's see how many nuts, bolts or washers I lose today. We'll see. I'm just going to put these right back where they came. Righto, so for those that don't know, this is my 2001 HZJ 79 series 1HZ Toyota Land Cruiser. It went from just a plain old tray at the back to having a little miniature canopy which holds a fridge, a rooftop tent, DC charger, solar panel. So I did it up a little bit so that I could take it out camping and have a fridge and stuff, and stop having to chuck on a swag and an esky. I did do almost all of the work myself, so I took the tray off, gave the chassis a fresh coat of paint. I did get a fabricator to sheet the original dog cage that was on there, and I put some gas struts on the doors. I painted the custom rooftop tent frame, and I also gave the tray a bit of a touch-up. I took all the old timber off, I painted new timber, and I laid that down. I fit a rooftop tent and also a slide out fridge in the dog cage along with all the electrical stuff. Yeah, I'm really happy with the way everything turned out. Now, I have been saying that I'm going to sell the cruiser for a fair while, but I just can't seem to do it. The reason I have been wanting to sell it is so that I can make room for a brand new dual cab Land Cruiser. 2025 is the year for the new one, and I'm actually really excited about that. But I honestly might keep this as well if I can't let go of it. I've been across the country multiple times in this on my own, so it's sentimental, and honestly finding an old cruiser in decent shape is, I don't want to say rare, but if you find a good one, you're laughing. They are so reliable. I just love it. But I do want something more modern with more power to tow a boat, which is also in 2025, and just be really comfortable on long trips. Now I've got these little cone washers. They kind of just pop out if you give the stud a bit of a whack. Should really use a punch as well. You might have noticed my tires are bald so I'm getting some new tires over the next couple of weeks. But yeah, once I get this done, the next thing I'm going to be doing is giving the Cruiser a paint job. I am actually going to be spraying it myself. So yeah, just like that, you give it a whack, and then that cone washer just pops out like that. There you go. Oh. So yeah, the back got a bit of a makeover, but now it's time for the front to get some love. So I'm really trying to protect my housemate's grass here. There's a circlip there that I need to get out. Oh. You are going to be a nightmare. I hate circlips, and me are not friends. That's gonna come off there. I'm just gonna clean as I go. So yeah, as much as I love the Cruiser, having a new one is really going to benefit me. It's going to benefit YouTube. I'm going to be able to tow a boat easily. The old one, I said, struggles on its own going up hills. This is kind of only the real specialist tool you kind of need for this job is a hub nut socket. So that will go on there. But you've got to make sure all of these tabs are. And bend that tab back. I bought that from Super Cheap Auto, so it will make your life a hell of a lot easier if you're doing this. So yeah, what have I been up to lately? Last weekend, I think it was, I had a mate up visiting Cairns from Airlie Beach. Now he is another YouTuber and he's right into his fishing. And every time he comes up and visits, I go out on the boat with him fishing. So yeah, we did head out last weekend. The weather was amazing. There actually hadn't been any decent weather for a while, and we got an amazing sunrise on the way out. And yeah, like I said, he has YouTube, so here is his Instagram, here's his YouTube, and I will also put the links to both of those down in the video description. So check him out if you're right into your fishing. But yeah, we had a really good day. We were casting the reef flats for the majority of the day, and I managed to catch a few red bass. I'd never actually caught many of those before. At one point, Bowley had a huge wrasse hooked up, but unfortunately we didn't get it to the boat. So yeah, it was really a day full of laughs, and had the absolute best time. Right, so I'm just gonna move this brake caliper out of the way and zip tie it up so it's not in my road. Yeah, the morning was a bit slow, but the water visibility was absolutely next level. It was just this beautiful bright turquoise color. Absolutely beautiful. I am talking absolute crystal clear, and yeah. So yeah, that was a huge bonus, the fact that the visibility was that good. I don't even think the videos do it justice, guys, just how beautiful and clear it was. Oh, come on. Just needs some convincing. Sometimes these can get seized on and they're just not fun. Now I really don't want that falling down because it can break the hose that's connected to it. Oh, whoa. I already know there's going to be people coming for me about wearing gloves. They're a pain in the ass. I'm fully aware of how bad it is for you, but I just spent 8 years in the mines as a diesel fitter. I don't do it anymore, but I don't think one more day is going to do any more harm that's already been done. And I'm gonna zip tie that up because I don't trust myself to not knock it off or something and break something. So that's not going anywhere. So yeah, had an absolute magical day with Bowley. Some of the scenery, it still gobsmacks me that I live in this absolutely beautiful, amazing place. I'm not a very far boat trip from being out on the reef and seeing this sort of stuff. So it blows my mind and I just feel so grateful. Moving here was honestly the best thing I ever did for myself. Oh, there's my bearing. Righto. Let's see. Well, there's still grease in there, so that is a bonus. I also caught myself a small GT. There was one point when we were casting the flats and there was just a huge school of GTs. There were some pretty big ones in there. It was pretty cool seeing them all just go after the lures, but unfortunately neither of us got a huge one. I did manage to get my small one, so that was all right. But there was so many, a big school of them, and I missed it on film. I think Bowley might have gotten it, but we were casting lures and just 10 GTs were just coming out of the reef and trying to hit the lure. You know, they were grabbing the lures, but they just weren't hooking up properly. So yeah, that was pretty cool actually, seeing all those GTs. Great. All right, this looks like a sloppy mess. Let's see. There you have it. Honestly, it would have been unbearably hot if I did not set this shade up. It came out relatively easily. So I'm going to clean out this knuckle here. Then I'll be able to get to my seal in there. As you can see, it's quite messy and yeah. Now it's time for the messy stuff. If you think this is messy, we're really about to get messy. So I want to get to that inner axle seal in there, because that definitely needs replacing. I will give you guys a little bit of a look inside there at that seal that I'm talking about. So I just want to scoop all of that grease out of there so that I can put some fresh stuff in. Righto, come with me guys, have a look. So I've pretty much cleaned all the grease out of here now, but see this little seal in here. And if that is buggered, then your grease is going to be mixing with oil. Not good. Can't really feel any damage in here. I am pretty certain it is the other side that is going to be chaotic. So the inner axle seal was being a bit of a pain in the ass. So I've been messing around with this for like 20, 30 minutes maybe, but it's finally coming out now. And that is what I've done to it. Yep. Destroyed it. Surface feels alright, can't feel any burrs. That's what's left of the inner axle seal that was in there. It was an absolute nightmare to get out. That surface in there feels good. So yeah, here is my new inner axle seal, about to go in. It's gonna go that way. Make sure that goes in nice and even. Perfect. Right, so these are the only gloves I currently have. This already comes pre-greased, but we're definitely gonna put some more in there. Anyway, so when I was out fishing with Bowley, we decided to do a little bit of jigging on the way home. And I'm really glad we did. Yeah, we went and found this spot, saw some dolphins actually on our way there. But yeah, we had a bit of a quick jigging session. I managed to catch a purple cod, or cattle dog cod, people call them. So yeah, I was bloody stoked about catching that, because Ricky and I were heading to the creek the next day for a bit of a chilled sesh on a Sunday. And yeah, I was hoping to catch something nice and edible to take. Trying not to hit that inner axle seal. So yeah, we chucked the cattle dog cod in an esky and took it to the creek. Kaiser jumped in, he was super excited to go to the creek. He loves coming along on all the adventures. Now this creek is a little bit of a locals hidden gem up north of Cairns around Port Douglas. There's no crocs there. I mean, there could be, but they're I mean, look how shallow it is. You'd be able to see it coming. But the water here is crystal clear. It's beautiful and it looks like something out of Jurassic Park. Walked through it. There wasn't many people there at all. So yeah, it was a really, really nice walk through the creek. Found a nice little spot to just chill out. And yeah, I made a really nice, healthy meal with that cattle dog cod. Well, yeah, that spindle looks all right, which is a bonus. Little notch, faces down. All right, so I'm just in the stages of whacking everything back together now. And now I'm gonna be doing my wheel bearings. I've got to whack that race out, flip it over, and then whack this race out. So that's a seal. And the bearing, the race is still in there. Should be able to punch that out pretty easily. So yeah, you can see little cutouts in here. So you just use those cutouts to get a good grip on those surfaces and just hit it out evenly. Here's my new race and my new bearing. Let's just check that they match. Now you really should have a proper tool to hit this race in, just so it goes down nice and even. But if you don't, you trust yourself, you can work around the sides and get it in. Just go around, making sure you go evenly, and then it kind of makes a different noise when it's home. Fat side in first. Okay, now for the absolute messiest job of this whole thing, which is packing these wheel bearings. So I am gonna wear gloves for this one because grease is gonna go absolutely everywhere. Basically, I'm going to be scooping grease out with my hands and putting it up into this this crack at the bottom, the larger one, and then just making sure all of these rollers are absolutely saturated in grease. And then that is going to sit nicely in there. High temperature wheel bearing grease. You can't use the same grease that you chuck in the CVs. Oh, the fun. It actually is fun. I do have fun doing this. So let's get some grease into your hands. Get the fat side of the bearing. Pushing it into that pile of grease. I'm just gonna push it up. You'll actually start to see it coming up through the rollers on the other side. That's when you know you're really getting in there. it's time to go in. My seal is just gonna go over the top of that. And that also has to be hit in nice and flush. I'm just gonna use this block of wood. Yeah, I'm just gonna put a bunch of grease in there. So yeah, there's some absolute mint weather coming up this weekend, and I'm doing a bit of a fishing mission. So yeah, really excited about that trip. Really excited to film it and share it with you guys. It's gonna be a bloody good one. So yeah, that is just a small portion of what I've been up to lately. I'm gonna put our little washer on. Then our first little locking nut. So I'm gonna do that up, torque it up. I'm gonna chuck my little tab washer back on. And then my second nut. And now I'm just gonna bend a couple of these tabs to help secure those in place. You shouldn't really hammer your screwdrivers, but I'm gonna do it. What I'm saying here is you need to bend those tabs, one forward, one back, to secure the nuts. Almost done, guys. Almost done. Cone washers, normal washers. Alright, so I had to turn the camera off for a bit because I was absolutely losing it at this circlip. But that is finally back in there. Alright, so all there's left to do is just tighten that brake caliper back up, chuck the tire on, and we're done. So yeah, that was the CV joint, the shaft, and the inner axle seal. I'm gonna do the other side. I'm not gonna film that. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed me throwing in a little bit of footage from my most recent fishing trip. Now for the fun part, the cleanup. I would actually pay someone to come and clean up. But yeah, like I said, thanks for watching this one, and if you haven't yet, make sure you
like and subscribe.
See you on the next video, guys.